Hello! It's time for another wrap-up. In March, I ended up reading 19 books and I DNF'd one book. A pretty good reading month. I had some really good books and just a couple bad ones, so that's pretty good. I read 13 manga. Technically, I only read like 6 books, but whatever. And then I read a romance book, which is really weird that I only read one, 2 horror/thriller books, and 3 fantasy books. As for star rating, I had a couple 2.5 stars. I think there was 1 2-star, a lot of 3.5 stars, a couple 4.5s, a couple 4s, not a 5-star. I don't know how many of each because the manga are like, I don't know, maybe 10 of the 13 are 3.5 stars, and then there's like 1 that's a 3 and 2 are 4.5s. So I don't really, if I would count, I would get there, but I can't be bothered. That's basically moral of the story. Let's just get into it because it's gonna be kind of long-ish, I'm assuming, I'm thinking, I don't know. So the first book that I read was The Magic Misfits by Neil Patrick Harris. This follows a boy, I forgot his name. He is an orphan, so he's forced to live with a weird uncle who basically, as for a living, steals from people using magic. Not like magic, fantasy magic, magic like real world magic, like illusion. And so one day he is over it and runs away, and somehow he arrives at this little town and meets other children who are also into magic and becomes friends with them. And at the same time, in that little town there's like a circus, and the circus is a little bit suspicious, so it's kind of Scooby-Doo vibes. There's like a mystery. I don't know if I did that justice, but yeah. I gave this a 2.5. I think I'm just too old for this. Because it's very predictable. It's very, as I said, Scooby-Doo, where they unravel the mystery in front of a huge audience, and the only thing left in this book for it to be actually Scooby-Doo was for the bad guy to say, "If it wasn't for you meddling kids," or something, which he kind of did, I think. So, I don't know, I think I'm just too old. I think children would enjoy this, but I personally did not. I think it was okay, so that's why I gave it a 2.5. The next book that I read was a romance that I got from NetGalley. We follow 2 people. Their whole lives, they've been like kind of rivals or enemies. The guy is like a family friend and her brother's best friend, so if you like that trope, this is one of those books. I don't know if I would recommend this book, but anyways. The book starts with the girl waking up from a coma that she was in for like 2 months, and she has forgotten everything from the past 2 years, which includes the entire relationship she had with the rival, because they started dating in that time, but she doesn't remember, so she still feels like she hates him because they're kind of like enemies, rivals, whatever. And so he makes a deal with her, which is that, like he did when they started dating, he proposes to let him take her on 10 dates, and if she still does not like him after the 10 dates, he will give up. The idea was cute, but like the execution was not cute. I give it a 2.5 again. It made me think of the Adam Sandler movie that's called 50 First Dates, which I really enjoy, so I was excited, but as you can probably tell, I did not like it. The book is very predictable, but I say that very often about romance books. A lot of the plot was rushed, in my opinion. Like, there were some scenes that could have been included and would have added to the characters, because the characters were very bland. And also the ending was rushed. I felt like they could have added an epilogue, maybe? Very usual for romance books, so I don't know why it's not there. But yeah, the romance was okay. It wasn't the cutest thing I've ever read in my life. Moral of the story, the book was just okay. It was 2.5 is half of 5. It's in the middle. It's not good, it's not bad, it's just there. I'm gonna forget about it. And it wasn't anything exceptional. Next are the 13 volumes of, I think it's like Blue Ride or something in English, which I did watch the anime before reading this because I wanted to get the end, because the anime does not have the last few books in it. On average, I'd say I gave all of them a 3.5. There were a couple, as I said, 4.5s and a 3. For the most part, the anime has like half of the volume, so I wasn't getting anything new. But then the later on ones, some annoyed me because there's a love triangle that I hate. But the end, the last 2 books were 4.5, so it does end really nice, and I thought it was cute. And that's basically it. The next book that I read was The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. This follows a woman who every day goes on a train to work, kind of. And every day she passes by a house, and she imagines what the couple that lives in the house are like, and she gives them names and whatever. And then one day, in the news, there's an article that a woman is missing, and the woman looks exactly like the one she's been having daydreams about that lives in that house. So the main character basically becomes drunk Nancy Drew and tries to figure out what happened. Yeah, I did not like this. I had a feeling I wasn't gonna like this because I didn't like Paula Hawkins' other book, which is Into the Water. But whatever, I've read this now. I think that thrillers like this aren't for me. I don't know how to really explain it. I just thought that this was really predictable. The plot twists were garbage. The ending was so boring. The scenarios I'd created in my head were more interesting than whatever happened in this. And also, I don't care if a character is unlikable, but if a character is just stupid, then I hate it. And every single character in this book is stupid. Like, extremely. Worst decisions of my life. It's kind of like Scary Movie, where the girl sees 2 signs and they say death and like live, and she goes to death. That's the kind of decisions that this woman makes. This is just dumb. I hated this. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know if I said what rating I gave it, but it's a 2-star. The next book that I read was one I was really excited about reading, which was Battle Royale by Koshin Takami, I think. Is that how you pronounce? I don't know. I annotated this because I was that excited. This is what people say inspired Hunger Games. It is about 42 students who get selected to compete in this weird game where one needs to be the last one standing. That's the most, I think the word is succinct? I don't know English. Condensed way to explain it. I gave this a 4-star. It wasn't as good as I was expecting. I thought it was gonna be 5-star, but it wasn't, sadly. I did like it. If you like very gory descriptions of death and like not too many plot twists. I mean, some plot twists were very predictable in my opinion, but some of the things that happened I would never have seen coming. So if you like surprising death moments, this is fun. I don't know if I'm using fun in a good way, but whatever. Apart from that, my only complaints are that the characters are confusing to distinguish. It's mostly because they have very, very similar names. There were 3 girls that were named Yuki, Yuko, and Yuka. And also there are 42 different people that you need to keep track of. I ended up making like a little keeping track of who died sheet, which was great. And then the second complaint was that I didn't care about any of the characters dying because I just didn't. And the ending was kind of boring, I'm not gonna lie. It kind of disappointed me the most, the ending. But the rest was fun. It was a cool book, I guess. Yeah, my only complaints are that it was kind of predictable, the ending was boring, the characters were kind of shit, and the girls were so stupid in this book for no reason. I enjoyed this, even though I complained a lot about it. The next book I did not read, but it is my DNF. After almost a year of reading this book, I decided to DNF it, and it is Little Women. I just don't think I'm a classics girly. At least not this type. I gave it until page 202. That's quite a lot in my opinion. My friend told me that this was originally short stories and then it was made into a book. Maybe that's why I hate it, because the short stories are so irrelevant in my opinion. I don't know. I'm sorry to everyone that loves this book, I just could not deal with it. And finally, the last 2 books that I read in March were the 2 books in the Daughter of the Pirate King series by Trisha Levenseller. I put this off for a long time and I don't know why, because I really enjoyed them. This follows Alossa, as by the title. She is the daughter of the Pirate King, and she has been tasked to find a part of a map on a rival's ship. And on that ship is Raiden, I think is how you pronounce his name, and he's making life really hard for her. And there's a romance to that also. I enjoyed them, as most people did. This is very Pirates of the Caribbean. If you enjoy Pirates of the Caribbean, this is really fun to read. I gave the first one a 4.5 and the second one a 4. I really liked Alossa's character. She is really cool to read about. The romance is fun. It's a slow burn. There's tension and a little bit of spice that I was not expecting. Not anything like excessive. But yeah, they were fun. The romance was cute. The plot in the first one was better than in the second one, in my opinion. The only complaint other than that is that they are kind of predictable, but they're still fun, so that's all that matters to me. So those are all the books that I read in March, which are these plus all the manga and the 1 arc. I had a fun time, but also I'm kind of disappointed because I don't have a new favorite, and I thought I was gonna have one, maybe 2, but I didn't. So what is going on? I don't know. Hopefully in April, aka this month, I will read more because it is Magical Readathon month, and I'm already behind, spoiler alert. But that is everything for today, and I'll see you in my next word video. Bye!